Pakistan, on the day Muttaqi was in India, they launched what appears to be a drone attack in the green zone in Kabul. Then there was a subsequent retaliation when Taliban launched cross-border raids on the Durand line. The two sides are totally at loggerhead. And this has been going on for a long time. When Asim Munir took over as the army chief, he decided to throw out the Afghans, the Pashtuns. There was a repatriation of Pashtuns from Pakistan to Afghanistan. Pakistan has been both an arsonist and a firefighter in Afghanistan. Pakistan has been using Afghanistan to have strategic depth against India. What Pakistan wants the Taliban to do is to send people to Kashmir. The only hospital in Kabul is a hospital built by India. That is the trust factor between India and Afghanistan. Whether it was Hamid Karzai, whether it was Ashraf Ghani, or whether it was Taliban, India has always been for the Afghan people.
So then, sir, how exactly does Pakistan view the India-Afghanistan bonhomie? Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Hindustan Times and my name is Aisha Varma. On this segment of Point Blank, we explore the India-Afghanistan connection and what the stakes are for Pakistan. Is South Asia's political landscape being redrawn? We have the executive editor of Hindustan Times, Mr. Shishir Gupta, joining us for more. Sir, namaskar. So the Afghanistan foreign minister is in India until October 16th. What are the most significant areas of cooperation here and how does India view this relationship?
See, Aisha, I think I'll start from something which the Afghanistan foreign minister, who is from Taliban, Amir Khan Muttaqi, told the Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. He told him that the Soviets occupied us for 20 years. Okay. They did not build even a single hospital. The Americans were there for another 20 years. They did not build even a single hospital. The only hospital in Kabul is a hospital built by India. That is the trust factor between India and Afghanistan. Let me take you a step back into history. When 9/11 happened and the US forces and the coalition forces went into Afghanistan to take out the Taliban government because it was supporting Al-Qaeda at that particular point of time. That is Osama bin Laden. Then the whole idea was that India was asked to contribute troops on ground. And you had the pro-American media in India saying that we should send troops to Afghanistan. We had some of even our diplomats saying that we should send troops to Afghanistan and use this as an opportunity to close ties with US. You had the left liberals who said, no, we should not send troops to. And there was a huge debate. This is 2001. So at that particular point of time, the Prime Minister was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was, a cabinet committee on security meeting happened. And when Atal Bihari Vajpayee asked a question, and he said, when we are in Afghanistan, when we have boots on ground, suppose the protest happens, so what will happen? So it was replied that, he was told that, we'll have to do the firing. And so whose bullets will be firing? He said, the Indian bullets. So he says, no, I don't want Indian bullets to be fired at Afghan people.
Okay.
And that's where the entire chapter ended. It's a huge debate at that particular point of time. So India, as Muttaqi also said, that whether it was Hamid Karzai, whether it was Ashraf Ghani, or whether it was Taliban, India has always been for the Afghan people, and it has contributed in every way possible in humanitarian assistance, in infrastructure development, in hospitals, in medicines, in vaccines, in food. So India has been doing everything that a good contiguous neighbor should. And that's what India has done. And that's what is remembered by all the Afghan people, whether it is the Ashraf Ghani government, which went out, and whether it is now the Taliban. So India has deep ties with Afghanistan, and India does not use Afghanistan for anything other than giving support and making good ties with Afghanistan. So this is where India stands. And this government, particularly when Prime Minister Modi was coming into power, not many people know that actually India reached out to Taliban.
Okay.
And it reached out to Taliban through an interlocutor in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And at that particular point of time, the then Taliban Amir sent a 10-kilo gold Quran to India. So India has been talking to anybody who helps the Afghan people. And that's where India stands. And it is not looking for any, other than any other leverage from Afghanistan, except that it has long-standing relationships with Afghanistan. And that is what is happening right now. So when Muttaqi is here, whatever demands that India can, sort of approve and clear for Afghanistan, and that's what is happening. So infrastructure development, food assistance, medicine assistance, visa assistance, medical visa assistance. So all this is happening. And the India-Afghanistan relationship is multi-layered, and very few people actually know how deep it is.
Okay. So one other important statement that has been made by the Afghanistan foreign minister while on his trip to India, he said that if Pakistan does not want to remain on the path to progress, there are other options. Now, crucially, this comes at a very difficult time. There have been clashes on the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. This also comes after Taliban blamed Pakistan for a bombing in Kabul. Could we expect an all-out war next?
No, so the all-out war is not really an option, because right now Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and even China and other people are also telling the two sides, that is Afghanistan and Pakistan, to go for ceasefire or at least a no-fire pact kind of thing.
Okay.
Now, but what has happened in the past month or this month is that there has been very serious clashes between the two sides.
Yes.
Now, what started was when 11 Pakistani soldiers, including a lieutenant colonel and a major, died in what they call was a terror strike by Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, based in Afghanistan, what they called. And this was in Orakzai. And there was a subsequent retaliation in which Pakistan, on the day Muttaqi was in India, they launched what appears to be a drone attack in the green zone in Kabul. And this was to take out the TTP head, that is Noor Wali Mahsood, that particular day. Mahsood apparently survived. There are some questions that somebody from his family got killed. But then there was a subsequent retaliation when Taliban launched cross-border raids on the Durand line, which Pakistan calls the international border between Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Okay.
And there was multiple raids right from Torkham way down to Helmand province across. And in that, Afghanistan claims that they killed about 58 Pakistani soldiers. Pakistan claims it sort of killed some 200 people from Taliban forces. But the fact remains is the two sides are totally at loggerhead. And this has been going on for a long time because Taliban says that they do not recognize the Durand line. Neither Taliban does, nor even the predecessors, whether it was Hamid Karzai or Ashraf Ghani or anybody, recognize the Durand line. They talk about a Pashtun homeland. And a Pashtun homeland goes way back deep, really west of Indus River. So this is what it is. And they claim that as their homeland, and that is how it defines Afghanistan, which Pakistan obviously does not support and is totally opposed to the entire idea. Right?
Okay.
In the midst of all this, when Asim Munir took over as the army chief, he decided to throw out the Afghans, the Pashtuns. There was a repatriation of Pashtuns from Pakistan to Afghanistan, and that was done in a very brutal fashion. So that is the other sticking point between the two sides. So right now, the two definitely are at loggerheads, because they're also at the loggerheads for a very simple reason. Pakistan has been both an arsonist and a firefighter in Afghanistan. Pakistan has been using Afghanistan to have strategic depth against India.
Okay.
Which is so essentially what Pakistan has been doing is Pakistan has been responsible for radicalization of Afghanistan. Pakistan has been responsible for a whole lot of death, mayhem, and chaos that has happened in Afghanistan, and Afghani people realize that. And the Taliban recognized it, the predecessor regimes recognized it, and Pakistan has been using Afghanistan for all sorts of its strategic experiments. Now, for a force which is nationalist Islamic force, which believes in Sharia like Taliban does, Taliban is standing only for Afghanistan. And Taliban has nothing to do with what Pakistan wants the Taliban to do, is to send people to Kashmir.
Okay.
Taliban had conveyed us way back in 2014 itself, saying that they have nothing to do with Kashmir. Okay, they are all for only Afghanistan, right? So they are not for believing in exporting terror. And that is why this relationship is very important to India. But Pakistan right now, after it has been sort of really pumped up by the US administration, it believes that it actually can play a bigger role with Afghanistan. Well, let me tell you, many superpowers have tried it. They have all failed.
So then, sir, how exactly does Pakistan view the India-Afghanistan bonhomie?
Well, they're very angry.
Okay.
They're very angry. If you go on the social media, you'll see a bunch of reels, you'll see a bunch of videos basically calling Taliban a traitor.
Okay.
You see a bunch of, these multiple, tweets, everything, sort of cursing Taliban, saying that, listen, we were the people who propped you up, we were the people who did, and now what you have done to us. So this is what has happened, and they have been actually, they're actually shocked by this, but I do not know why are they shocked, because India and Afghan people have always been close. Okay, it's not like that. Now Pakistan thinks that Taliban is its baby.
Okay.
And that Afghanistan is just an appendage to Pakistan, which it is not.
Okay.
That is something for them to realize. So India, as far as India and Afghanistan goes, this is a step towards normalization of ties between the two countries, which something Pakistan does not like. Because look at it, the global positioning is such, India on one side, Afghanistan on the other side. So it's a pincer. And Pakistan is stuck in between. And that is something which Pakistan will never like. But unfortunately, they have to live with it.
So then, sir, how do we see the India-Afghanistan relationship progressing? What's the next step?
See, what we are looking at is that there are some 13 odd countries which have sort of, have restored diplomatic relations with Afghanistan.
Okay.
There's one, Russia is the only country which has recognized the Taliban government. Right? Now, you have a bunch of other people. You have China, you have other countries who have actually sent ambassadors to Afghanistan. They have opened up embassies over there. And they are restoring ties with the Taliban government over there. Now, it's only natural that once India has decided that it is going to open an embassy in Kabul, it will definitely go towards the appointing of an ambassador and then virtually, de facto recognizing the Taliban government as the main representative of the Afghan people. Now, there are many people who have a different opinion about Taliban, and Taliban is an ultra-conservative Islamic force. There is no question about it.
Okay.
But one should also remember that it is the Afghan people who have allowed Taliban into Kabul and into Kandahar. It is for them to really, accept or reject whatever government they are getting. Nobody's forced this government on them. So once you realize that, and once you realize that these are the people who are representing the Afghan people, then the obvious thing is to restore ties with them. And that is what is going to happen. Now, India will obviously face problems from Pakistan because Pakistan will do everything to undo the close ties between India and Afghanistan.
Okay.
In fact, a day later after the raids happened, I'm told there was a drone attack even on Kandahar by Pakistan. So Pakistan has been now using drones in that area. And what is ironical about it is that India for the past decades has been saying that Pakistan has been using terror as a policy against India.
Okay.
Right? Now it is the same Pakistan which actually propped up Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which propped up now the ongoing protests over there, that is Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan. All these groups, extremist groups, were propped up by Pakistan. And today Pakistan is blaming Afghanistan for sheltering terror. So, I mean, it's the world has come one whole circle. So, Pakistan will do everything to somehow unravel the India-Afghan relations because it cannot afford to have adversaries on both sides of the border.
Okay.
And what has happened is that once the raids have taken place across the Durand line, the cost of maintaining that border has gone up. Just like the cost of maintaining borders with India was already up. So for Pakistan, it's going to be a place where it is surrounded by two adversaries on either side of the border.
Now, so one other aspect of, let's say, another key player being the United States. This is something we've also discussed before, the Bagram Air Base, something that America wants. When we look at what's happening in the region with Pakistan and Afghanistan, what kind of lens should we be looking at this matter with?
See, President Donald Trump has openly talked about acquiring the Bagram Air Base or north of Kabul. Now, even if the US has propped up Asim Munir and Shehbaz Sharif, given the state of play right now between Pakistan and Afghanistan, Pakistan definitely cannot be of any help in the acquisition of the Bagram base. Okay. Now, as far as India goes, India does not have a stake in this, right? India has never looked at Afghanistan as a force multiplier when it comes to sort of, armed forces or equipment, hardware equipment, and so on and so forth. Now, it is obvious in this case that it is for US to directly approach Taliban and ask them whether they can give them the Bagram Air Base or not.
Okay.
The Taliban government has refused it, right? But US can use, its allies like in Qatar, UAE, to sort of push its case forward. But given the importance of Bagram Air Base and its positioning, that it will be very difficult for Taliban, which only in 2021 threw out the Americans from Afghanistan. So it's a very difficult proposition, but it is for the two sides to talk it out and see whether they can do that. But as of now, Bagram is a no-go.
So thank you so much for joining us and providing us with that in-depth analysis. We'll continue to track the developments and more. Stay tuned to Hindustan Times.